Hey guys, Double Wide 6, and today I'm working on this 825 wheel horse. This is the tractor I got free. My buddy took it home and then I had to go over there and get it, but now I got it and I got it running. I put a new battery in it, and Bobby's been cruising around the yard. This is his new vehicle, so it runs really well, nice and smooth. The only issue we have is I just noticed a leak on the gas tank, and it's a very slow leak, and I'll show it to you guys. So this is the tank. You can see it has an odd shape. There's a vent up top, and then down below I plugged that off. I have it filled with water right now, and I'm trying to find the leak, and I thought the leak was coming out the seam underneath here. So we'll give you guys a look up under the vise, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a seam here, and if you look really closely you can see a drip, and I've had it sitting here about 5 minutes, and that's about how long it takes to get a drip coming out. And what I'm gonna do here is I was trying to see exactly where it was leaking, so I'm using the vent hole and I'm pressurizing that a little bit, and we'll show you exactly where this thing is leaking, and then we'll get on to fixing it because this tank is not available. Well, I have a light shining underneath here, and we'll try and pressurize this thing, and hopefully you guys can see where it's leaking. There you go. And that was about 35 pounds of pressure, and it came out pretty good. Well, there's a seam right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark exactly where it's leaking just so I know, and then we'll go about fixing it. I should mention there was not gas inside the tank. I cleaned the tank out, filled it with water a couple times, gave it a good rinse, and when I was pressurizing it, I was using water to determine you know, where the leaks were. Gotta grab the phone, hang on. So the first step, I'm using this 3M brake cleaner just to clean any remaining fuel residue off this thing, just so we have a clear surface. Now it was leaking from about here to here, and I've marked those yellow lines. I'm going to go a little past where the leak was just to make sure everything's strong. And I'm going to start out just with a soldering iron. And what I want to do is just kind of dig a trench right through the area where the leak was. Don't want to push in too deep. I'm trying not to go all the way through the plastic, and I'm just using my standard soldering station, and you want to make sure that you're in a well ventilated area. Just putting through a good track. You could use JB Weld for something like this, but I've always found that JB Weld tends to break down a little bit over time, and with this, you know, we're using the exact plastic material that the tank's made out of, and that should give us a good seal. This little groove we're making is very important because this gives a trench or an area to fill in that excess plastic. Okay, I have a real pointy tip on here. I'm going to try and find another tip and get something a little flatter. This soldering station that I'm using, quick show that to you guys. There it is. It comes with a variety of tips, and what I'm thinking is this tip looks like it will be pretty good for pushing around plastic. The other one that looks pretty good is this one here, and as you can see, it's kind of has a flat on it. It's angled and just a little bit flat, so I think either of these would work pretty good for this. So I've switched the tip, And now what we're going to do is we're basically going to go through this thing. I'm going to actually turn this way so I can work a little better. Make sure you're in focus. And we're going to take our plastic, we're going to start about 1/8 inch out, and we're going to push it into the groove. When we get to the groove, we want to push down. So we're going to go left to right, push it in. Kind of makes like a hot, molten wave of plastic. It's not the prettiest looking repair by any means, but we're just going to go through and just kind of fill in this trench we made. I got it all, everything here is filled in, guys, and it's not perfect looking. We'll take you in here, you can kind of see what it looks like. But it should hold. And I didn't put any water in this thing. Right now I'm going to give it a little bit of a pressure test. I put the cap on, and I guess I should mention that if you have a leak near the cap, you always want to check the cap and the seal. So I'm going to try and add a little air here. I don't see any bubbles, guys, so that's a real good sign. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. Yeah, we're not blowing any bubbles. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to have to let this tank dry out and see if I can get it back in this unit. It was a bit of a struggle to get the thing out because I didn't want to take the whole tractor apart. So I'll work on that and let it dry out, and I think we'll be good. Well, guys, I got to let the tank dry out a little bit. It's completely dry, and I filled it up with fuel. And I noticed that you got to fill it all the way up to the top. I don't know, well, you can see it, but I have it filled all the way up. You got to fill it up to the top in order for this thing, you know, to really want to leak. And I've had the fuel in it for a couple hours, and before it was dripping down here, hitting the battery, which is not really that much of a safe condition. So you can see the battery's actually new, and the stickers peeling off there from where it was leaking. But we got that all fixed up. Doesn't look perfect. You can, you know, if you look underneath you can see it, but at least it's not leaking. And you know, that's kind of what we had to do because like I said, you can't get that fuel tank anymore, so unless you find it used. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the repair, and you can give me your comments down below as far as what you thought. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.